It's within our human nature to intensively crave admiration from others. To watch others desiring deeply what we already have, it allows us to be grateful, but also can inflate our pride. When our pride is inflated, we compare ourselves to others, not in a way to devalue ourselves, but in a way to carry ourselves up. The only way we can feel better about ourselves is if somebody else has it worse, or someone is more stupid than us or ugly. This deep level of insecurity means that an individual will attempt to scan the other during comparison, in attempt to ensure that the individual is superior to that other. The lack of reliability of this technique leads to lowering self-worth. If one is incapable of uplifting themselves through comparison, that will lead to self-destruction and anger towards oneself. This established ego and narcissism is short-term validation towards oneself. It gives us the reassurance that we don't have it all bad like we once thought we did. Take the example of feeling stupid if we compare ourselves to people of similar age to us or even older with lower cognitive ability, perhaps through genetics. Or compare ourselves to someone who perhaps was not the best decision maker will make us feel like we were too self-critical, and we switch the criteria to fit our ego, therefore naming ourselves as smart. Due to the positive connotations and the value society has placed in that characteristic, we feel worth, therefore belonging. But what happens after that? Well, the same person won't find the need to push beyond their limits because, well, I'm doing better than him. There is no intensity or a push to their excellence as they are too caught up in what others are doing, which are worse than the individual. This will only lead to justifying every window of their existence, the good and the bad, perhaps even leading to self-sabotage through moral licensing. The temporary sense of comfort derived from those in worse situations may heal the over-calculating critical brain, which is always striving for more out of one's existence to reach the highest frequency and form of oneself. But when we actively ignore this sign from the brain which wants us to attempt to face adversity and accept that life is finite and others are living their own story, when the others rise above us, we feel perplexed and angered by the possibility. As we once thought we were better. When we realize no potential is lost, we also realize that no other is worse nor better than us. Mankind all share almost the same form, some altered by genetics and the universal of our particular. But we are all one in harmony and not objects to inflate our pride. One thing which is based solely on the universal attributes of mankind is appearance. Although one could influence their appearance with plastic surgery or if they're fat, lose some weight. But more so than not, appearance is genetically based. When an individual inflates their pride using the appearance of others, like we see in the Mog culture, not only does it devalue the others, but it constantly pedestalizes the individual, who's constantly seeking approval. If their insecurities aren't healed by comparison, they'll feel worthless in their own body. They'll feel below mankind and work harder and harder to achieve a privilege that doesn't actually benefit the individual in the right ways. Others will see value in them based on something that nature can annihilate in an instance with time. Many forget the importance of rapport and building connection based on inner coordination with the other. The people who care too much about appearance hope for a day where an attractive individual will approach them and make love with them. They don't realize the cycle starts from them. If they truly want a meaningful relationship, they must see past the first barrier to then explore their world. Looks are indeed deceiving. Will manipulate you to want to get to know someone, forgetting that most of us share the same brain with thoughts. What makes the attractive person better and more deserving of my attention than anyone else? It begins with us. We need to realize every single individual holds value that we aren't aware of ourselves. If you think you know someone to the point where you'll compare yourself to them, then you really don't. Whether you're comparing yourself to devalue yourself or comparing yourself to uplift yourself, In both cases, you don't know that person at all. Regardless of the close proximity and your awareness of their achievements and even awareness of their defects, they hold wisdom that you are so unaware of, as well as imperfections. So comparison is impossible because we think we know someone, but we really don't.